And by the way, everyone who attacked me on Christmas time, all you fucking Eliza Blue simps, she's going to get a backlash. People are waking up to this bitch. And I don't want anybody, oh man, you know, Mersh, I was on to this bitch a long time ago when you were all simping for her. And now that she made this appearance, which was a disaster from what I've heard, people are like, fuck this bitch.
In the chat, are you still on the outs with Timcast? I don't know what that's about, but anything you comment?
I mean, I'm not mad at him. Okay. I think what really happened was they brought me out and like they said, hey, you want to come on the show for the second time? And then I was like, yeah, sure. But like, to be totally honest with you, for me to take a day off work, I lose a lot of money. For me to take like 2 days off work, which is what it takes to travel, and it's really a lot of money. So look, if I do an appearance somewhere on site, it has to be worth it. Like it has to be, you know, it has to equal or be greater than that. And I'd already been on Tim's show. I already, you know, kind of had that. We share such a huge percentage of the audience. I was just looking at it from a business perspective. So I said, okay, well, I'll come out, but I want to go on like 2 nights in a row. Cause I got to fly out there, drive for an hour, all this stuff. And the first night went great. And then the second night, I was probably a little too lax. I didn't know Tim took his prep so seriously. So like I went on his ex-friend's podcast at like 5 o'clock. And I had no idea that this would have been an issue because I was told by people in his house that it was totally fine. And then his show started at 6. And then so it was like 5:50 and I was going to head up there. And he was pissed that I wasn't there for like the pre-show. And so he canceled the show. And then
Beanie Commander swinging hard, dude.
Yeah. So then I said, basically, in not so many words, like, okay, fucking, you know, I was like, okay, this is dumb. This is an emotional decision. He's like, well, I need to prepare. I'm like, dude, I do this for a living. I don't need to prepare. I know what's in the news. And I know what, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I need to know the topics of that day's political news because I already know it. And so I was like pissed that I flew all the way out there and then he had like a little meltdown. But.
And this is like New Jersey or something he lives in?
It's out west. Yeah. In DC area.
Okay.
And then out west. Yeah. East.
Yeah, that's east of the country. Yeah. I don't know where you live, but.
Yeah. But but I accept some blame there. Like I should have, I guess, asked him directly. I think he was mad that I went on Adam's show because Adam used to be on his show and then there was some weirdness. I don't know the truth of what it is. I think he was mad about that. And then the fact that I showed up like 5 minutes before live time, he was double mad.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it's been an interesting week. I think the story will probably wrap up. That is until maybe Jack decides that he wants to, do something crazy, but hopefully this will be the end of it. And I wanted to comment a little bit on a lot of heat that I noticed Tim Pool is taking. And, I've been certainly open and critical of Tim Pool's opinions here and there. But, I still consider him a peer, and I still respect the hustle that he's on and the work that he's done. And I see him getting absolutely demolished in his comment section over the last couple of days over his association with Jack. And, I do kind of want to speak out in defense of Tim here on that, and then also share a new spicy little nugget of information. He's just a dude that is on his show. He's not Tim's employee. And Tim has always been about, saying he's above drama, which really he in general is. He doesn't make videos about me. He doesn't make videos about, other YouTubers. I do think his definition of drama is a little too broad, but this is who Tim is. And he's not going to make a video defending Jack, I wouldn't think. I imagine he's in a really tough place. In all likelihood, Tim doesn't know anything about this. Although I'm sure he knows now, but he probably was just as surprised as anyone else. I remember it was like when Ryan Braun on the Brewers was juicing, and then Aaron Rodgers came out and defended him. This is an obscure sports ball reference, but he came out and defended him and then made Aaron Rodgers look like an idiot because turned out that Ryan Braun was lying about the juice. It's the same thing. Like he's probably just trying to stay out of it, not get like attached to anything. I don't think it's reasonable to like be demanding Tim deplatform the guy either. I don't think that that's a fair request, and even to like demand Tim make some sort of statement. I don't think he's gonna, and I don't think he has to. The part of the fine line that exists when you're covering this kind of insanity is that like sometimes people take it too far and they get kind of like bloodthirsty and they want like scorched earth. I don't really want that. I just, as soon as it stops being funny or as soon as there stops being new news to talk about, I don't really want to dwell on it. It's not like it's Brie Larson. I just, not like Tim asked me to do this. You guys know I'm not on great terms with Tim, I don't think. And I think that, I don't think it's fair to be dunking on Tim or getting mad at Tim over this. The story of not only my Twitter ban, but also Brittany Venti, Yellow Flash, and hundreds of accounts that have stood up against what is very clearly favoritism and taking advantage of a system that's supposed to be helping people. It's taking a much darker turn now. As last night, it was revealed, at least to me in real time while live streaming, that the particular individual who's behind all of this, Eliza Blue, had taken yet another step to censor by removing a video, not just from YouTube, but now this morning, or I guess late last night, the video was removed from WorldStar. Well, I normally take Saturdays off, or at least have in 2023, but I want to address something that I guess I just found out. Normally, I talk to Tim via Facebook Messenger, and then like a day or two ago, it said that he was offline. I was like, oh, maybe he's just taking some time off or whatever. Didn't really think about it. Then I opened my Twitter this morning, and I had been blocked by Tim Pool. And of course, you know, that came as a shock to me, but maybe not really that shocking. And I want to address what I think it really is, and perhaps what maybe's all led to it. And maybe, you know, hopefully it's just a miscommunication. And, you know, I'd call him if I had his phone number. I do not have his phone number. I'd email him if I had his email. I do not have his email. I don't really have any other way to get a hold of him other than Facebook Messages, which is all we've ever used. And I can't DM him because he didn't follow me. And then I was like, wait, does he follow me? And then I'm like, oh, he blocked me. So I think that this is you know, on the surface a really weird look, but there are a lot of things that perhaps could have led up to this. And, you know, I'm not mad at Tim. I really don't. This video is not like, go unsubscribe from Tim. I just want to address, you know, because, you know, normally if a content creator blocked me or something, it might be good for a meme or two. But this is different because, you know, Tim and I share a huge audience, and I don't want you all to feel like you have to choose. I think you should watch whomever you wish. And it's important. The most important thing in all of this, to me, in this video, is that the people that watch us both don't feel like I'm asking you to choose. I would never want that. And the people that watch me exclusively, you know, I would suspect that we have more than a 50% crossover. So, you know, I don't really want to turn this into a war or anything like that. I think I know why he did it. But it's kind of a winding road to get there. So there's a lot of speculation. And the top real kind of theories, which I think the real answer is everything combined. Spoiler alert. First, let's talk about the Eliza Blue stuff. Okay. Yes, I've been critical of Tim for not covering it, but I have also, in multiple occasions, both on podcasts and live streams and stuff like that, said, and if Tim didn't think it was clear before, allow me to say it now, I do not blame Tim Pool for having somebody on his show.
Major drama alert. Now, don't get mad at me and unsubscribe. Promise me you won't do it. Thank you. I'm just reporting the news. I'm not involved. The Quartering and Tim Pool have had a beef going on for like the last week, and it's crazy. I will get into this in just a second. Full disclosure, Tim Pool had me out and flew me out to Washington, D.C., where I was on his Pop Culture Crisis podcast, and so I'm fond of Tim Pool. I also have a tenuous relationship with the Quartering over the years. I broke the story that kind of made him famous for Magic the Gathering in the beginning. I was writing for Milo Yiannopoulos, was the only person who covered it back then, and he's kind of been a dick to me since then. So I am biased, but I'm gonna talk about it through that lens. Just deal with it. All right. A blocking from Tim Pool on Twitter. Now, this comes after like a week of back and forth. Now, I know that that Umbrella guy, who's also a friend of the channel, is rabble-rousing about this a little bit, saying that Tim Pool, you know, is kind of the one grifting out of all this. But I don't know about that. So this has gone on for a second. I know the Quartering flaked on Tim Pool and his appearance. And here's the original tweet with this.
That seem to like implicate and say that I'm the reason he's not covering it. Maybe that wasn't intended. And it isn't my intention to start any drama with him. I love Tim. Tim is a trendsetter in this space. I look up to him for his business model. No hate. Okay, I don't know how many times I can say it. I keep saying it on Twitter, and people are like, yeah, but no, I literally have no issue with Tim. I think he's really shown the way for independent commentators to actually really build their own business. Sure, Joe Rogan did it, right? But when Tim did it, it was a much more manageable gap. You know, that's something to aspire to. So we all agree now. Okay, I have no problem with Tim. Now I'm going to have a problem with one of his tweets. And I think maybe it's just in the way that he worded it. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here. First, this morning at 8 a.m., long before I was out of bed, or 7 a.m., he tweeted, people wanted us to talk about the Eliza Blue story. We had the Quartering booked for yesterday. That is true. A month in advance, he flaked on us. His words. Okay, fine. Also true. He can come on any time and we will find a new date. I big agree. He has always indicated that, and I 100% believe him. We all want a show about it, and we had it timed perfectly, but it fell apart. Now, that part I think is a little weird. It's like implying that I'm the reason they're not talking about it, and that they were just waiting for me to come on to talk about it, which I don't believe. I was booked over a month ago, long before any of this stuff. And I said before that, like, traveling is a big deal for me. I'm a big guy. I get wicked bad travel anxiety. Tim Pool is the only show I think I've ever traveled to be on. I was on a show at the Blaze too, but like I don't travel twice. Okay, in 10 years, I can't sleep for days ahead of time. I get panic attacks when I travel. It totally ruins the fun part of it.
We had the Quartering booked last night. He bailed on us. We've had Shane Cashman working on the story. People are still mad at us. Should we stop trying to cover the story? This is about Eliza Blue, who's been DMCA striking people, saying it's revenge porn for her videos that were up on YouTube, and getting people's Twitters removed. And so that's what's been going on here. The Quartering was one of those people who had his Twitter removed, and we covered that. I covered it fairly, I think. And of course, I didn't approve of that. I don't want Twitter banning people over posting public images. That's very scary. But here it is. Seems like maybe the best approach. You can't appease a mob, and that's very true after a while. Now, it looks like the quartering is blocked on Facebook Messenger by Tim Pool as well. So there's been beef going back and forth. Now, the quartering's acting like this is coming out of the blue, or it's just because of his appearance on there. But the quartering's also made a bunch of passive-aggressive tweets about Tim Pool over the last week as well. I mean, it's got to get annoying, right? You've got a bunch of like sort of like bitter tweets coming at you. You've got the guy's whole fan base coming at you. I get it. I've been in situations like that. I don't know the full history between these two, but I think there's more here than just this one tweet where he's acting like this is coming out of the blue. Coming out of the blue. Yeah, hey, that's a good pun at the moment. Eliza Blue, get it?
And in other news, an interesting family feud has just appeared in the public arena. It looks like Tim Pool's being called out by his brother for all the world to see. But why? Well, on March 31st, Chris Pool made this tweet. In the tweet, Chris claimed that Tim Pool and Emily Mully stole his business called Subverse. Subverse was a website founded by Chris Pool that covered a variety of news topics. Chris stated that after allowing his brother to join Subverse, Tim Pool and Emily Mully locked him out of all social media accounts attached to his business and later claimed to be the founders of Subverse so that they could register Subverse in another state without his knowledge. Tim Pool has not publicly responded to any of this on his own platforms. However, he has been using clout-hungry YouTubers to act as his mouthpiece by feeding them information to counter his brother's claims. And the first person to jump out in front of the story to defend Tim Pool, the shameless attention whore and clout vampire, the quartering. That's right, the quartering. The hack YouTuber who never fails to see a popular issue and ask himself, how can I make this about me?
I have spoken to Tim Pool at length. He is an acquaintance of mine. I have talked to Bill of Minds.com. We are acquaintances. It's not my intention to completely bury Chris, to push him over the edge, but this thing keeps gaining steam, and if I don't address it, I'm going to lose the respect of my viewers. I have verified via archived communications. This is all one of the most bizarre narratives I have ever encountered. I am connected with Bill and Tim, and I was able to address this. I saw him retweet it last night, and I tried to DM him and say, there's more to this story. I was going to let it just go away. That's what I made the decision at the time to just let this go away because I didn't want to cause any problem for Tim. And again, even when he started this, I reached out to Tim and I asked him, dude, what's up with this? He explained everything to me. Now I cannot ignore it anymore. He has never told me he has founded the company. And I've asked Bill if I can share our conversation. He has agreed. And I have seen that conversation as well. I have mine. I was able to, I saw him and I tried. I want the best for your family and you.
The quartering wasted no time stepping right into the middle of this bout between brothers to defend Tim Pool and release private conversations between Tim and Chris. The conversation was leaked to him by Tim Pool, of course, and it appeared to show that Chris Pool had given up on Subverse and handed over everything connected to the business to Tim Pool. However, Chris was quick to point out that the now leaked conversation only occurred after Tim had already stolen the Subverse social media accounts, revoked Chris's access to them, and registered Subverse in another state without including Chris. Chris claimed that it was only after Tim Pool hijacked Subverse social media accounts and registered the company in a different state that this now leaked conversation occurred where he was refusing to pay for a website domain for the business he had just been locked out of. And in this conversation, Tim Pool was offering him a job as a writer in the business he just lost control of. And I can't blame Chris from wanting to walk away from that. The whole situation led to an understandably large amount of friction between the brothers. Now this whole thing's messy. Chris Pool feels like he was swindled into bringing Tim Pool into the business, only to be pushed out by his famous brother who locked Chris out of the social media accounts for Subverse and registered the company in another state without including Chris. And Tim Pool has made statements that Chris did little to no work on the business after starting it and was just playing video games. So here's what I think about this whole mess. I'm no legal expert, and I don't know what Chris Pool can do about this, if anything. After all, it appears to me that in the leaked conversations with his brother, Chris gave up on Subverse after being pushed out of the company and walked away from it all, but only after his control of the business was subverted and Subverse was registered in another state without his knowledge. I think Tim Pool tried to demoralize his brother into giving up on Subverse after pushing him out of his position of control. But does Chris have a legal case against his brother Tim Pool? I don't know. But what I do know, it is without a doubt absolutely disgraceful to see how Tim Pool would treat his own flesh and blood in order to take control of his brother's creation and gain a hefty payout. Now,
what's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering. I hope you give me a second to hear me out before reacting to this video. This will be the last time I cover this Tim Pool versus the quartering thing. It absolutely sucks that we're talking about this instead of you know, some rando person having the power to ban people off Twitter. But here's where we are. And to be honest with you, I've certainly played a part in that. And so I do have some regrets. And that's why I want to kind of get this out there, react to what happened last night, and get right back to covering more important things. We've got some Joe Rogan news today. We've got some Hogwarts Legacy news. We've got perhaps some other kind of world news stuff, since some people asked for that. But anyway, last night, Tim reacted to his chat very aggressively and emotionally. And I don't really want to play the endless clips. I feel like I have secondhand embarrassment. I don't think it was Tim's best moment, but I don't really want to perpetuate sharing that out and making it worse on him. We did find out, he mentioned, I guess, why he blocked me. And so I want to address that because it legitimately could be just a misunderstanding. And I do also want to say, like, you know, it's not like I didn't antagonize the guy. I don't really have, you know, I have issues with, you know, the ignoring the stories, you know, going back to Jack Murphy, and clearly this Eliza Blue thing where he gives like a really weak sauce reason for not doing it. He says, oh, she's irrelevant. She doesn't have this or that. Well, the woman's been on your show twice. She's relevant enough to have more appearances on Timcast than I do. So, I mean, I think, and I'm irrelevant. You know, he's talking about world leaders. He's trying to get politicians. He's trying to really take Timcast to the next level. And I think he's going to do it. He's going to be very successful at it. But he mentioned only after the paywall, of course, goes up, that he felt like I was giving him some sort of passive aggressive threat or something like that. He did not misrepresent what I said. I put out this tweet, so I just want to say, like, back on January 25th, I said, oh, for sure, I'll reach out to Cassandra soon. That was in regards to me saying, like, I didn't share any of his messages here. That was in regards to rebooking, right? Then last Friday, I said, even though our viewers want war, I don't. I was trying to cool it down a little bit. And I said, please tell me this dude took her to task, as in, like, Shane. Hopefully Shane was going to do a good job. And then he said, what? And then blocked me. I didn't know I was blocked at the time. It just said he's not available on Messenger. So I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe he's messaging. I literally didn't think I even sent out a tweet. I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to message you. I don't know. So he said that he took this as some sort of veiled threat. It was not intended in that purpose. But I can also see why, maybe given all the heat that was getting heaped on him, he felt that way.
I blocked Jeremy Hambley. Why? Because Jeremy Hambley is the rights or the anti-establishment version of the Young Turks. I never attacked my fans. On Timcast IRL in the super chat section, as people were asking me questions about Eliza Blue, I pointed out, I'm not going to disavow someone I don't care about. Someone who'd been on the show 2 times.
Okay, but you could say that about any guest he's had on. Oh, I don't care about them, so I'm not going to talk about it. And it'll be completely the most important thing to talk about, like censorship, things like that. Maybe like something that violates human rights, and just be like, but I don't care about them. It's like, but if your whole brand's based on that, like, that's why people are mad. Just be like, this one in particular, I just suddenly don't care about. And now we saw the video of Eliza giving fucking Ian a footsie job. I think we know why he doesn't care now. Clearly there is a bias here.
So 2, really don't care about Eliza Blue. We booked a lot of people. We booked the Krasensteins. We've booked Matt Binder. We've booked people who are on the left, and I certainly would say are more grifterish than she. But for some reason, these people care all so much about it. Well, it's fake. When Jeremy makes videos about Joe Rogan, he gets less views than he makes videos about...
It's not about him having her on. It's that, like, for example, Shane was kissing her ass. She was kissing his ass on the stream. She has gotten ahead because of the podcast. So yeah, I think it's fair people want to criticize it. Sure, he's had more grifty people on, but in this instance, she's lied about her whole persona and she censors people.
So, quick rundown. Here's what kind of what happened. So I know none of you guys want to watch a full episode of Timcast. I mean, who does that? Lot less people now.
Actually, we might have to remove this is what Tim Pool actually believes, only because this is one of those instances where I don't think he actually believes a word of this shit. He's just fucking scared. I'm fucking scared, okay?
This is what happened. Tim Pool he platformed Eliza Blue, right? So he's one of the main proponents who platformed her. He pushed her. He was one of the that did that. When all it started falling apart, Tim Pool seemed, in my opinion, to not want to admit defeat. He said, I don't want to talk about this, the Eliza Blue thing anymore, until it got to the point where accounts were being banned. She couldn't say a word without people going like, you need to talk about this shit. You're Mr. Anti-Censorship. So what he did was, and this is journalistic integrity, okay? I'll give him credit for this.
Finally came clean and apologized, right? He didn't double down.
He sent his journalist, his in-house journalist, I guess?
Yeah.
Shane.
Gillis?
No, because that would have been a much funnier story. He sent his reporter over there, and to make sure, and this is what's important about the story, right? To make sure that there was journalistic integrity, he made sure that Tim couldn't throw a couple bucks, to pay for like a Holiday Inn Express for this guy, because that's
now you're getting Marriott Bonvoy points, Tim.
He couldn't get this guy a fucking Airbnb for the weekend. So this journalist stayed in Eliza Blue's parents' home.
Yeah.
To write a story about her objectively.
Because that's what I do. Like, usually is, I go and I stay with a chick at her rich parents' house. And that way, if anything I tell you about this bitch while I'm hanging out with her all weekend, it's totally objective.
Right.
If I say, when you see me tweeting going, no, she's really funny, she's great.
And pretty.
Yeah, and very pretty. I'm just trying to gas her up because,
trying to get laid. But, and by the way, guys, if you're talking about this, do me a favor. Make sure you use the hashtag Eliza Blue Temple. Good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think I got it out.
I tweeted out the link.
Cool.
So we're good.
Yeah. So anyway, I completely forgot where I was.
Tim Pool sent this whore, or he sent his whore to hang out with this whore at the whore's parents' house.
So he sent her over there. The story's written apparently, but because Tim Pool is a whore for the algorithm, the 120-page story,
80,000 words is what I heard estimated.
He only released 20 pages of it. It's going to go out in different parts. That way he could use the algorithm to really stretch it out and make as much ad revenue as possible, because that's integrity.
So while
that's integrity.
While one hand is literally stretching this out because he knows Eliza Blue is a hot topic and he knows it's like becoming a big issue. He's on the one hand like going to be,
which is ironic because Tim Pool looks like he shops at Hot Topic.
He's also the guy saying, I don't care about these fucking e-girls. She's a nobody. Why would I talk about a nobody on this show? But you're going to write an 80,000 word novel about her. Okay. Sounds legit.
How about hashtag Eliza Blue performed sexual favors on Tim Pool to get higher in the algorithm, allegedly? How many characters?
Go check that. Can you even get a tweet in?
I think you can, because now it's 280 characters.
Oh, nice.
So you could actually get a couple words in.
Hashtag all that sawking and fucking.
So, of course, softball, he said something to the effect, which we're about to see here, but I want to cover e-girls. And there's a couple clips. Here's one of them, and then we have a timestamp to his episode.
I think is going on, to be completely honest, is that the people who are claiming they hate her are actually probably a paid reputational firm to promote her.
You guys are getting paid?
I'm not getting paid.
You guys are getting paid?
Why are we always getting fucked? We're always getting fucked. We're always getting called, you know, gatekeepers and grifters and tools of, you know, the fucking whatever. And then it's like, where's our money, though?
Can you please pay us?
Bloomer's going around telling everybody DeSantis' campaign is just fucking making it rain like a Houston strip club. And where's our fucking money? We're sucking Ron DeSantis' dick daily for free.
Jesus Christ. So, no, she's just hateable and a liar.
So that's why I brought this up last week. There are companies you can hire that will spam the internet to generate buzz and attention for you. Either there's no such thing as bad press. So when I see,
I think Lee Harvey Oswald said that.
This is what I love, is that not only is Tim Pool going to say all the people attacking Eliza are part of a paid PR firm, not Puerto Ricans. Relax.
Well, no, they can't congregate without stabbing each other, so I didn't think it was any of that.
That's what it was, is they actually did call and offer us money from a PR firm. Royce heard the message.
Immediately got angry.
Fuck no. And then we realized days later they meant public relations firm.
But we had to be safe.
Yeah, Royce was like, I'm not taking.
But then when we realized later, I told Mersh they're probably Jewish, and then he said, fuck no. So here we are, with no PR firm money.
We're just at a fucking impasse.
It's our fault, really.
No, but so we're all getting paid, right, on the one hand. But then does Tim think that, because this is a bold strategy, Cotton, does Tim think that she hired a PR firm and said, okay, listen, here's how we're going to make me famous. You're going to burn everything I worked for in this grift to the fucking ground.
To the ground.
And then I'll be famous. It seems a bit like a fucking, that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
No one's ever been able to explain to me why people think Tim Pool's smart. Because he's not smart. Look, I've listened to everything that he said, right? Is he good at repeating talking points in a concise manner? Yeah, sure, absolutely. There's a lot of people that could do that.
Yeah.
That homeless guy who's now the voice of the fucking...
Remember that guy? Yeah, the black guy. The
now he's got a job for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
He's all sober and shit. He's wearing suits. You're like, oh shit, look at this guy.
See, Tim, even he wears a suit. So I believe that, but his opinions are your basic middle of the road, fence sitting, milk toast opinions. He wants the algorithm so much, but not if it means admitting he's wrong. Tim Pool doesn't admit he's wrong. He won't do it. He'd rather say that there's a PR firm and people hate Eliza Blue instead of the fact that maybe, just maybe, Timothy, the reason people do not like Eliza Blue is because one of our good friends, Adonis Paul, got his fucking Twitter permanently suspended. It's back now, thankfully, but that's where we are. People were losing accounts. Look, I'll be honest with you.
Cat in a blizzard.
Cat in a blizzard.
Don't forget Cat in a blizzard.
Cat in a blizzard.
People like flooding our comments and saying things that aren't true, like I'm canceling my membership. Yo, I can see who's canceling the memberships.
I am literally today looking. This is something that I looked up. If you look on Twitter, do you know how many legitimate screenshots there are of people going like, I've been a member, and it shows the start date, and it goes, here's a screenshot of me canceling the membership. This is the problem when you call people out and be like, maybe some people were lying, but here's the problem. You fucking not understanding what the Streisand effect is, you moron. Now there are people who go like, oh, really? I wasn't even going to cancel, but you know what? Fuck you.
Of course. And, you know, like, it could be compared to, like there've been plenty of times. I mean, we just ragged on that guy this week, though, and I was like, oh, I'm canceling. And it's like, if somebody's being gay and trying to ransom, because Tim's trying to present, this is what Tim always does. He really blurs everything, right? So that it all seems like he's being righteous. He's doing exactly what I truly do believe any creator should do when you do have people trying to hijack your show or tell you what to cover. And they're like, well, I'll cancel. Good, go. Fucking, seriously. Fucking, I hope you fucking slip and fall and die on the way out. I don't give a fuck. But if you're in the right, then your other fans will respect you, because they'll be like, oh, shit, my man really stood up for himself. But when you're hiding something and your entire audience is starting to go, hey, man, can you just admit you were wrong? And you're like, fuck it, I don't care if you all leave. Then it's like, okay, well, now you're fucking Hitler in the bunker and downfall. You're starting to really, the whole crowd's starting to turn on you, bud.
Yeah, and it's 100%. It's 100% true that I do agree with this. I really do agree with the stance that don't fucking tell me what to do. I'm not the same way too. I don't. So I'm not against Tim on principle here, but he's not. If Tim was just saying, don't fucking tell me what to do, leave if you want to, that's fine. But you can't say that and also go, and it's probably not even real. It's a PR firm. That undercuts that undercuts your stance. If your stance is, I don't give a fuck if all of you leave, That's actually an admirable stance because you don't want people to say we're doing your show. But if what's tacked onto it is, but it's not even real, it's a PR firm, then the first thing you did lose is its value, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's not real, what are you sacrificing?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody, here, I'll burn your fucking money right in front of you, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out. Don't ever tell me how to run my shit.
Right.
But this is like you created a problem. People are asking you to address the problem you created. You're also profiting from the same problem on the other end of your business.
Yeah.
And you're a business partner with a woman who's also done Eliza Blue things, like getting Kathy Zoo kicked off Twitter. So your house ain't clean either, and you know it, and you're fucking
I know people that have been to his house. I know it's not clean.
Like I can literally, I own the website, and this.
Wow. Well, yeah, wow. Now that you settled with your brother, you do.
Now that your brother took his payout and shut the fuck up and left.
And don't you mean you and Cassandra on the website?
Yeah.
This past week, we have gained slightly more members than we normally gain, and it's probably because of the guests we had on last week.
Okay.
No worries.
I know he wears a beanie. I mean, and I'm sure other people know this, and good for them. Is that a Timcast branded beanie?
Yes.
Cool.
Whatever. And whatever. Jack Posobiec, maybe he's a great personality.
Is he?
See, right there, where he shows me. You want me to tell me why you don't like Tim
Pool? Hanging around now. Jack Posobiec, Mike Cernovich, Ian Miles Chong. This is like Tim Pool's circle. Look at his retweets.
So we gain several hundred per week, and we gain a little bit more than that on average. With people coming in claiming that they're canceling their memberships, maybe they are, but we're gaining more than they're being canceled.
But you said that you see the memberships and they're not canceling them.
But we're gaining more than one.
Which one is it, Tim? You're the ramblings of somebody who's falling apart.
Canceled. I think that many.
Look, Tim Pool's not going to fail. Like, here's the thing that I'm not one of those people that's. Tim Pool is losing subs, and I think at the end of the day, Tim Pool will probably might net out a loss right after all this blows over, and after he has another fucking boring interview with somebody that nobody gives a flying fuck about, you know, because those are really fun. But whatever. But it'll even out. It'll go away. Or he'll fire somebody. I don't give a fuck. That's fine. But the problem with people, Tim's not going to fail. Tim's channel's never going to die. Okay, it's not, and that's the reality. And it's sad because once you get to a certain point in the conservative grift community, you'll always make money, right? You'll always have people that'll follow you. You'll always make a living. You'll always live fine. So in reality, unless you do something completely super egregious, you're not going to lose your fans. Because at the end of the day, the people that watch Tim Pool aren't really people that are principled. It's not people that have really strong beliefs. It's not this. It's they want a guy on a fence post that looks like he was made in Tony Hawk Pro Skater to fucking tell them to digest the news for them because it's too hard for them to think of it. And that's fine. Look, yeah, we cover news, but we're not digesting it for you. We're mocking it.
Imagine being so fucking retarded that you need Associated Press headlines explained to you.
Yeah.
Like, imagine needing a headline from Reuters explained to you. Because and I'm glad Royce kind of dissected this, because I'm not going to lie, dude, I was watching this last night, and I was screaming at certain points, because I was so frustrated, and I'm like, and I meant this was such a guttural reaction, but it got to a point where they were talking, and I just was like, and I'm like, who watches this? Like, who? Like,
I know a lot of people, and it makes me sad.
And I don't know why. My thing was, I can't figure out why people watch this. Like, I brought up an example last night. Kino Casino. I'm no fan of Warski's. He's no fan of mine. Whatever. PPP, I kind of find amusing. But I'm not obviously a Kino Casino viewer. But when they were doing well, I was like, oh, I can understand. Like, you didn't have to explain to me why the fuck people watch Kino Casino, because it's a big fucking drama-filled three-ring circus.
People like that.
People love that.
I agree with that.
So, like, you never have to explain to me, like, oh, this is the charm of Kino Casino. Like, I get it. And I can understand other shows that I'm not really, like, into, but I see what they're doing, and I go, oh, okay, I see why people, like, tune into this thing. What is the value of, like, a bunch of nerds sitting around being fucking nerds?
I honestly don't know. And Tim Pool's not, and I say this, and I'm 100% honest when I say this, I believe. Tim Pool isn't a podcast host. Tim Pool isn't a musician. Tim Pool isn't a speaker, a thought leader, or a philosopher. Tim Pool is a professional algorithmic whore. Okay? He's the algorithmic version of Eliza Blue. All right? You ride the algorithm, and he knows how to do it. Look, credit where credit is due. The guy knows how to grift.
Yeah.
All right? If there was a San Francisco grift college, he would be a professor with honors. All right? 100%, he knows how to do it. A 120-page story, there's no story in the world that needs 120 pages to tell. Eliza Blue requires 120 pages to compile 50 tweets to show she's a liar? I don't think so. But it's big, and you're going to make money on it. So congratulations. Good for you. I'm happy for you that you figured it out. But the sheer arrogance or the pseudo-intellectual attitude that he has, I don't get it. I watch that, and I'm like, what are you providing to the conversation? Huh? The only time Tim Pool has been interesting is when he threw a hissy fit because they wouldn't seat him at a diner because you know how reservations work.
Don't come to my set.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people are going to be going to go on your website to cancel. So this is the end of his show, and this is how he ends it.
Here. Well, a couple more. Dylan Sulking says, Tim will never read my super chats.
Then got him.
Got him.
Miss Mary says, I'm not a paid bot, Tim. Been a supporter for years. I hope you realize what an insane take this is. This is an insult to your viewers and supporters. Well, I got nothing else to say. I mean, look, Eliza...
This can't make anyone happy.
Are you joking?
Who is this?
Another...
Oh, my God, I can't... And you're lucky you have sunglasses. This bitch is white.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Vision in Alabaster.
My God.
Again, nobody... Like,
who is this? I'm being serious.
This is a whole crew of people I wouldn't feel any desire to hang out with.
They will support you for standing up for what you believe in, then get mad when you don't believe what they want you.
No, it's that you ignored it. It's not that you didn't stand up for it, Timothy. It's that you ignored it. You covered your eyes and you said you're not into e-thoughts when I could think of off the top of my head 5 e-thoughts you've covered.
Believe literally don't care. Miss Mary.
He literally doesn't care. Not figuratively.
He doesn't figuratively not care.
He's the smart guy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, gee, well, let me say what I have to say so I can earn your $5. Like, dude, if you don't want to give me $5, don't give me $5.
Okay,
That's all I
but
can say.
can I ask Tim?
Talking down to your fans.
Can I ask Tim? A few years ago, when you raised $1.2 million for and I quote, a community-owned decentralized news network.
Ooh,
remember that?
Yeah, Red Rocket, right? Oh, that was the other one.
2019, Subverse. Remember your brother got mad because you took that. But remember that you took 1.2 million and then you bought a really huge house and now you're building a really huge green room. You just pocketed the money and you never made the news network.
Hey, remember when your brother was DMing us wanting to come on the show and then right before we had him on, he said that he had to do some legal stuff with you. Then you guys settled.
I remember that.
Because I remember that.
You didn't settle with us.
We never said that, though.
You didn't settle with us.
That's true. His brother did reach out to us a couple of years ago. I remember that. And we had a whole interview and everything set up. And then
remember Reactor?
Quiet, and he disappeared.
Yeah.
Weird, huh?
These are all good ones, but you want to know my favorite classic Tim moment? You remember before the food buckets, Tim, when he every single fucking video he put out, man, I just want to finish my van and go sit on the lake and travel the U.S. and blah 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 blah. And now occasionally he makes videos sitting in the unfinished van in the fucking driveway of his $2 million fucking
don't really care, to be honest with you, Tim, but I wouldn't even give a shit this much about the Eliza Blue thing until the Eliza Blue making fun of this hoe is hilarious. But honestly, we would have stopped. Most people would have stopped talking about Eliza Blue right now if she was just exposed and they let her go. But the reason that people are still talking about Eliza Blue is because you, buddy, the guy who platformed her, the guy who never been still defends her and is running defense for her, she got a bunch of fucking channels popped on Twitter, on YouTube too, YouTube and Twitter. People were losing their fucking shit. That's when I start caring, right? That's when I give a shit because I don't want to fucking be told what videos I can play. I don't want to be told. If I'm playing legal stuff, you can't just use these fucking rules to get around it. And that's when it bothered me. And what you should have done would go, look, I might have had her on, but fucking getting people kicked off is fucking bullshit. You would have said that, everyone would have been like, okay, cool. And you would have gone on to interviewing like the based guy who fucking plays drums for fucking Bowling for Soup or whatever guy you're going to have on. I don't know. Some dumb shit no one cares about. And then we'll go back to fucking making Brendan Schaub for having CT and everyone goes on with their fucking lives. And the courting goes back to figuring out what's Brie Larson up to.
All right. What else we got?
That's pretty much
I think it was one more.
No, this is
Jared V says Jeremy is live and trying to break down what you're saying. What do you have to say about that? You literally said you don't care about Eliza, so what else is there to say? It's a really, really good point. Eliza is an irrelevant figure who's trying to be famous, and y'all are making her famous.
We're making
you made her famous, you fucking cunt.
We're making her famous.
She's never been on our show. She's never been on our show.
He's insane.
She's been on his show twice.
He's insane.
He had her on to promote her being involved with Andrew Tate's victims.
Track her social blade numbers. The 2 times she got the biggest boost in her fucking social media was the 2 times she went on Timcast. Tens of thousands of people followed her. So you created this fucking monster, Beanie Boy, and deal with it.
And it's not that you created her, you can, but then have some integrity and fucking and when she and call her out.
All you got to say is, you know what? I may have played a role in creating this monster, and for that, I'm sorry.
That's it. You're right. It was so simple. And most people.
And I'm going to donate to the National Sex Trafficking Hotline. I've got enough money. Boom. I'm sorry about this, and I'll try to do more due diligence in the future before I have guests on and vet them better. Thank you.
Yeah, but what would donating to Child Protective Services do?
Not the National Pro Human Trafficking.
Oh, I got confused. I apologize. I apologize.
I guess.
She's not in Congress. She doesn't know anybody. I guess she's talked.
Oh, her dad's in Congress.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. Go back 5 seconds. She says, I guess she's talked.
Yeah. So she's not in Congress. By the way, you've talked about a bunch of people that are not in Congress. That fucking Twitch thought that was crying about the deepfake AI wasn't in Congress. Why'd you talk about her?
Relevant figure who's trying to be famous, and y'all are making her famous.
Royce
she's not in Congress. She doesn't know anybody. I guess she's talked with like Jack Dorsey in the past, but.
You're right.
Oh, has she?
Complicated. She's trying to. He's trying to fuck. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
She is just like, it's remarkable to me when Jeremy.
You don't want to stay at Tim Pool's compound for wayward young girls who used to be conservative?
more like
barefoot young girls.
Yeah, barefoot young girls, huh?
More like compound, am I right, guys?
God, you know this faggot's the kind of guy that screams at you for not using a coaster.
Yeah.
This guy sucks.
Hambley goes on his show and says something like, Tim won't address the Jack Murphy stuff, and it's like, interesting.
The ghost.
I wonder if anybody who is paying attention to a Chinese balloon carrying potential explosives.
Yeah, shut that down, Tim. They shot that down. It's okay, Tim. By the time you were doing the show, they shot that down.
Yeah, some video some guy produced.
I hate this.
Oh,
this fucking goes to. I tweeted this yesterday.
Before the goalpost immediately.
Before Tim Pool said anything, he's using the typical talking point, the stupid talking point that I keep seeing all the time that they use to shut you the fuck up or to take blame off of you. How many times have you seen Mersh like that? This is and it's not the balloon thing. Insert thing here.
Yeah, whatever the big thing.
This is a distraction.
We're in a pandemic right now.
It's a distraction. There's other. Hey, guess what, fuckface? Guess what, Tim? You do a 2-hour show. On our 2-hour show, we cover like 20 topics. You could cover more than one thing. A Chinese balloon not being shot down, Cool, that's a 5-minute segment. You're not going to shoot it down. Your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Talk about it, that's fine. But because one thing is happening doesn't mean Eliza Blue censoring people on fucking Twitter and working a system and teaching other people how to work that system, to me, is a bigger fucking threat than a fucking hot air balloon over Montana. All right? I don't give a fuck.
Beyond that, his entire reasoning here is so fucking disingenuous and fucking absolutely insane. Because you're fucking... Oh, yeah, they don't, you think these people care about Jack Murphy? We've got more important things going on. Then why did you have him on your fucking show?
That's true. Why weren't you fucking? Why weren't you talking about more important things instead of having that word on?
And didn't you have a country singer on today? This episode, you had a country singer. You think people care about John Rich?
The John Rich?
John Rich.
I don't even know who the fuck that is, to be honest with you.
I bet he writes really good songs about dirt roads and pickup trucks.
A cold beer, a dirt road.
Asshole.
What are these? Oh, deleted. Tim. Oh, are these the tweets that were deleted by his brother? Why did he delete these? Tim kicked his BFF Adam off his podcast because of a female. Is there a pattern emerging? Never mind. I'm sure it's because Adam is a loser drug addict who doesn't do anything and only wants Tim's money. I do. I can. Do you know him personally? I do. I can verify he was a Trump supporter before the election happened. Oh, remember he said he wasn't a Trump supporter because a liberal. I'm not saying I agree with him most of the time. Most of his base are Trump supporters, but why is he pretending to be a centrist? Because liberals get rep or whatever. Part of the, from my understanding, and I don't know if this is true, but from what I heard, part of the deal was that he had to delete. The settlement was that he had to delete a bunch of tweets that were referencing him.
Oh no! Well, we didn't take a settlement. Those tweets are out there.
Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. Oh, there's actually a little bit more in this clip.
So if like you're interested in interpersonal drama and e-girl celebrity stuff, Timcast is not the channel for you. And if that's the case, and then I don't want your money. Like, dude, it's remarkable that people are like, Tim, if you don't address e-girl drama, I'm going to cancel. I'm like, okay, I'll cancel, I guess. I don't know.
It's not. This is disingenuous, and this is
everything about him. And
I've seen him call other people out for doing what he's doing right now. There's a difference between not talking about Pokemon's latest thing, because you have no control over Pokemon or what she does, right? But the only
Pokemon I care about is Deputy Pikachu.
Yeah, exactly. You're the reason this e-thought has a voice.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I definitely, wanted to respond to some of the things that Tim claimed about me yesterday, in particular calling me the Young Turks, but the Young Turks are the right. But that doesn't matter. I need to get back to the actual issue that matters, and that is, this particular individual using Twitter, locking people out. People still remain locked out. There are dozens of creators that are either banned or still locked out of their accounts, and we need to continue to apply pressure. Now, part 2 of Timcast news reporter Shane Cashman's report came out yesterday, and after about 35 attempts at getting through it, I found the last couple of paragraphs were particularly interesting. They seem to address me specifically, Brittany, and other YouTubers, and deriding them, calling them names, calling them irrelevant, calling them like cancerous. And I thought, wow, what a great turn here. What an interesting turn. How the table turns turntables or whatever. So I'm just gonna respond to the article, in particular the pieces where he insults several other creators. The idea that Tim has not read this is absurd. Of course he read this. And I will prove it to you. There are pieces of information that only Tim Pool knew about me that are in this article. So Tim absolutely contributed to this article. But it's not about Tim. Okay, it's about, yes, I'm going to clickbait his name because now I know it bothers him, but it's also about his writer. So, I think you have this situation where I've been told that he is a quote gonzo journalist. Apparently that means you bore everyone to death with endless exposition in your articles, where a news story is like a book. Like 80,000 words is a book. But he calls creators. There are many paragraphs here. He wrote, at this rate, I was getting personally attacked online for injecting myself into a story. I started to think that even if Eliza was a total liar, if she somehow schemed up this wild and elaborate lie that would have taken years to plan, it didn't warrant the level of attack on her nor anyone in her surroundings. What he's saying here, what he's admitting here, is that people were mean to him on the internet and therefore he no longer cared about the truth. That's what he's saying. People were mean to him online, so he no longer cared. And he doubles and triples down on that. So if you don't believe me yet, I will continue. This is when I started to realize that a lot of people making the most noise about her story were truly the useful idiots. They became tools of destruction rooted in absolute ignorance and disguised as moral authority. So again, he's talking about the YouTubers and the people on Twitter, I suppose, who are covering this. He continues. There was that sense of doom again. He really wants you to know how he's struggling to write this while he stayed in her house. If anybody's seen the videos about what it's like to hang out with her, there's one that leaked out yesterday. Probably had a little bit of fun.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Shane Cashman.
Douglas? Oh.
Cashman. The crack journalist for Beanie Siegel over there.
The gonzo journalist.
Yeah.
Gonzo, yeah.
After this fucking little gay essay he's writing, he's going to be a dunzo journalist.
Yeah.
Hey, Mersh, remember that time that Hunter S. Thompson stayed at the topic of his article's parents' house in their guest?
I'm sure he probably did, but even on top of that, he would still be interesting.
So just before we see if this article is going to be objective, this is just a reminder. This is the guy who was writing the article.
His work will end up being Warhol-esque in a way where it's...
Thank you.
I'm serious.
What would be Warhol-esque?
Thank you.
I don't know how else to articulate it, but I think you're really gifted and very talented, and I'm grateful.
Dude, this is what this entire is their entire economy.
Yeah.
This is why, and if you check out Mersh on Twitter, I finally get to take advantage of the old 4,000 character tweet thing, and basically explain Tim's whole little circle. They make a bunch of money and they freeze every other creator out, as has been proven with, as much as I hate Boring Jeremy, Tim's whole thing with the quartering just proves it.
The guy from Daily Wire?
No, that's Jeremy Boring.
Oh, okay.
Boring Jeremy from the quartering.
Got it.
But Tim's treatment,
Confusing because they're both boring.
Tim's treatment of both Venti and the quartering, of freezing them out because they're not part of the club and they don't want to make that sweet, sweet money. Like, so there's these little cliques, and it's like, it's a pyramid, dude. So Tim's freezing out quartering of Brittany Venti. People like Brittany Venti and the quartering will freeze people like us out because everyone wants to sort of like be the top dog.
Revenge of the Sis? I've never even heard of them. It's a one-way beef. I've never even heard of them. You see Frank Pellegrino writing, "This is called burying a story, executed terribly. Wouldn't it be easier just to apologize or acknowledge what's going on?" I mean, the other thing is, she was able to take down this after kind of the bombshell reveal about her being... Now, if she had another incidence of being trafficked that we don't know about, okay, I can't possibly know about it because it's not public. But she also referred to herself, somebody else using her pictures to catfish men as her being trafficked. That's not trafficking, not even close. Okay, it's identity theft, and whoever did that, you know, I would support her suing them. But no. And by the way, when she took down this Eliza Knows video, it wasn't because YouTube sided with her. It was because the person never responded to a privacy complaint.
Tim's entire clique, besides the money, their only other currency, is niceties. The only thing you have to do to stay cool in their little clique is lie for them, and then just constantly say fake nice shit. Man, Tim, that song is brilliant. Dude, this guy is a regular Warhol. He's so brilliant. Like, that literally is all you have to do is just show up, fillet, and be nice, and never expose anybody, and they'll let you earn a little. They'll let you have some crumbs off the table. It's disgusting. I'm so sick of Tim Pool.
Yeah, we're going to do a thing.
Yeah,
You know what I think would be really cool? And I know you're trying to end the show, but I've had this vision a little bit of you coming out to the farm and really seeing what my day-to-day life is like.
So this was already planned out for him coming out to the farm, but it's a big house, not a farm. But going out to the farm, this was already planned out in advance before the whole thing. Go out to the farm, and
That's the goal.
It's totally different than this glam version.
Yeah, that's the
glam. Oh, that's right. At the farm, she's out there with buckets in her hand, milking cows.
She keeps saying this like farm
lifting hay barrels over her back.
She even said, like, she even was like, I make $15 an hour and I drive my dad's farm truck. And I was like, I bet her dad's farm truck is one of those like Dodge Ram double cab. Probably like, you know what I mean? It's probably 2 years old and has like, it's probably fully loaded. It's probably not a farm truck.
Yeah.
goal. That's I love doing stories like that.
Full of so much bullshit.
It's one of those trucks. It's one of those trucks the construction company owner buys for himself. But he's not going to be caught dead hauling buckets of paint in it and shit. You know, it's just going to put his logo for his company on it.
So this whole thing was set up beforehand. But anyway, this is the stuff that had come out today. Apparently, this was this is after Eliza's first appearance on Timcast. The video is very poor quality. So let's see. Let's see if maybe we could pinpoint the friendliness and pinpoint why Tim doesn't like talking about e-thoughts and e-drama, which he does all the time, by the way.
Not only Tim. Why not only Tim doesn't like talking about it?
Oh, why nobody wants to talk about it?
You know what? I'm in the middle of a story right now.
Adam, I already too much.
Oh, I get it.
I want my apology, Adam.
I get it now. This makes a lot more sense, honestly.
I want my apology,
Adam. Send someone out.
Hey.
Oh boy!
Wow, they're really friendly here in Ian, huh?
Can I cue the bum 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 bum?
No.
Yes, it is Ian Crossland. Wait, why are you hiding now?
Yeah, no,
She's
it's a little
she's,
group.
She's hiding because she's kind of almost a better grifter than you guys, and she knows how to create some deniability.
Eliza?
See, the problem is you got to assign a guy like me to a case like this because even if I do end up fucking the chick, I will still throw her in front of a bus. I'll still write a totally honest, brutal article.
Look, yeah, no, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm not going to make any accusations because some of these people are very litigious. But what I do know is, in my experience, people that have body language like that are about to or have had some sort of sex.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I'm not saying that they did in any way. I'm just saying I know a lot. That is a telltale sign.
How would anyone feel if it was your wife and it was one of your buddies do it, like acting like that, right? Like, that's all you got to ask yourself. How would you feel? You walk in a room and your wife's sitting there like rolling around on the couch. You'd be like, "Oh, what are we doing here?"
Why are they two of them? They look exactly the same in here.
Is that your foot?
Oh my God!
Whoa, come on, man. I didn't know the video was even this spicy.
Oh, no. It gets spicy.
Your foot on his thigh?
All of these people, the difference between us and them, and I like to think, is like, we're pieces of shit all the time, and you can see how we are on air, off air. That's pretty much us. That's us.
We're ironically the arbiters of truth.
Right. We're pieces of shit. Being fucking turkeys mad at us for playing Tetris music while buildings fell.
That was fun.
And they were tweeting us today, and they go, "These guys are people are dying." We can bitch it all the time, but it's like, so we're shit, and we're not pretending to be smarter. We're not trying to save anybody. And the intro, by the way, we're joking around. We're not saving anyone from civilization. The whole fucking joke is that we're just assholes telling stupid jokes about stuff that we want to talk about. These people really think like you are Tim, but we have congressmen coming on, and was Bobert, by the way. She was on yesterday.
Yeah, she was on Gates Bobert and some other fucking.
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
Still wore the same outfit.
Right. So again, you guys are all these weird groupie pieces of shit behind the scene, and then when you ask why you could be this if you want. You could be just a fucking dumb idiot, but you know what you're not going to have? Mersh and I aren't going to fucking go out there and go, you know what? We're sending a crack team of journalists to take a. We're not going to do that. We don't care.
I don't have to. I just look at you and go, you're fucking lying.
Yeah.
That story has holes.
So, like, fuck this, man. Of course the story's not going to be true. It's all bullshit. And again, I want to be clear. Wouldn't have even cared this much if people weren't getting kicked off of Twitter for it.
That's not my priority.
Okay. Hey. Okay.
Look, we got some dancers in the back.
Yo, Ian was straight smashing that.
And we think. We think.
Good for you, Ian. Good for you.
All right, we got the strippers in the back.
Wow.
Dude, she was a victim of
She was a
trafficking.
victim of sex trafficking,
and honestly,
man.
a triggering statement like that could really send her, could send her into a tailspin. It's not funny, man.
Yeah.
Ian,
God, you sound kind of like an asshole.
Is Ian.
Strippers in the back.
Wait, hold on.
They already got rid of their socks.
Never watched.
I've never had
Never watched a double date on here.
So it is a double date. So no one corrected them. So my assumption is that she had some sort of physical, maybe not dating, but they could have fucked. And makes all of this entire story, no wonder Tim didn't stand up for not censoring people like he normally does. No wonder he pushed this aside.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Could Eliza Blue potentially be the Kalila Kuhn of the alt-grift right? Could she just be a wrecking ball that comes in and undoes this whole fucking thing by just being a shameless whore piece of shit? It's always pussy, isn't it?
Yeah.